Assalamu alaikum, our dear students, and welcome to a new lesson for our school, Qatar Technical School, and this is an English lesson for grade 10 using the Technical English Book 1, and the title of today's lesson is Assembling 1. Assembling means تجميع أو تركيب. And as usual, before we start the lesson, let's take an idea about the objectives. We have two objectives for today's lesson. The first one is assembling a skateboard. How to assemble a skateboard. إزاي تجمع أو تكون skateboard. The second objective is correcting information about some tools and devices. Okay, so we'll see if you don't know the information, if you don't know the name of something, and you make a mistake, how someone can correct the mistakes for you. To do the lesson, please open the course book page 12 and the workbook page 8. So today you need both books, so prepare them please. Now let's start our lesson. The first exercise is in the course book and it's a conversation, okay? Listen to the conversation and try to know the place where this conversation happens.
Unit 2, Recording 16. Hello.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I need a spanner, please.
What size do you need?
I think it's 10 millimeters.
Okay, here you are. One 10mm spanner.
Thanks.
Okay, so after we listen to a small part of the dialogue or the conversation, where do you think this conversation is? Is it in a hospital, a school, or where? Very good. It's in a shop. Okay, and what does this shop sell? It sells spanners, nuts, and bolts, and things like that. So the person wants a spanner, nuts, and bolts. Okay, we will listen to the conversation, and we need to write the size of each of these. Size, الحجم أو المقاس, and the quantity, how many. Okay, so please listen and complete the dialogue.
Unit 2, Recording 16. Hello.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I need a spanner, please.
What size do you need?
I think it's 10 millimeters.
Okay, here you are. One 10mm spanner.
Thanks. And I need some nuts, please.
Some nuts, did you say? Okay, what size do you need?
7 mil.
Right, and how many do you need?
4.
Right, here you are. Anything else?
Yes, I need some bolts, please.
What size?
M5.
And how many M5 bolts do you think you need?
8, please.
Okay, here you are.
Thanks.
Okay, so now let's listen again, but this time we will check the answers together.
Unit 2, Recording 16. Hello.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I need a spanner, please.
What size do you need?
I think it's 10 millimeters.
Okay, here you are. One 10mm spanner.
Thanks. And I need some nuts, please.
Some nuts, did you say? Okay, what size do you need?
7 mil.
Right, and how many do you need?
4.
Right, here you are. Anything else?
Yes, I need some bolts, please.
What size?
M5.
And how many M5 bolts do you think you need?
8, please.
Okay, here you are.
Thanks.
Good. Now let's move to the next exercise, and it's based on the exercise we just finished. Okay, now what we need to do is to make dialogues. Okay, of course you don't have partner, but you try to make the dialogue, and this is the example here. customer الزبون and the shopkeeper صاحب المحل. Okay, the customer says, I need some bolts, please. So this is based on number 1, bolts. Okay, the shopkeeper asks, what size? The customer says, 10 millimeters. The shopkeeper asks, how many? Excellent, 50, please. So I will make number 2 and 3 with you as examples. So we'll use the words washers, M6 and 60. Washers instead of bolts, M6 instead of 10 millimeters, 60 instead of 50. So customer, I need some bolts, please. Sorry, I need some washers, please. Shopkeeper, what size? Customer, M6. Shopkeeper, how many? Customer, 60, please. Good. Now for the screws, 24 millimeters, 100. Customer, I need some screws, please. Shopkeeper, what size? Customer, 24 millimeters. Shopkeeper, how many? Customer, 100, please. Okay, so you can do the same with nuts, bolts, and nails. So now let's move to the next exercise. It's about assembling the skateboard. Of course, we took the previous 2 exercises to be able to know the parts, some of the parts we need, and if we go to the shop, how to ask about them and about the size. Okay, now, how do you assemble a skateboard? Put these diagrams in order. We have picture A, B, C, D, E, and F. As you see, the person here is using the spanner, okay, to tighten the wheel, tighten what we call يشد أو يتيت. D, the person is putting the a nut on the bolt. Here, the wheel is going towards the axle. Here also, the person is tightening يربط. He is tightening the nut on the plate. Another nut. And this is the plate. So take a minute to try to think which one we start with and which is number 2 and so on. Okay, I think now you paused the video and let's check the answers together. Which one do you think is number 1? Excellent, of course, F. 2, very good, B. 3, D. 4, E. 5, C. And of course, and finally, 6 is A. Good. So now we got an idea about some steps that we do to assemble a skateboard. And now let's move to the workbook, page 8. To achieve our next objective, here we have a sentence and a picture. What can you see in the picture here? It's a screwdriver. Okay, let's look at the sentence. That isn't a hammer. That isn't a hammer. That's a screwdriver. So here we are correcting the information. The second half of the sentence corrects the information in the first half. Also here, these are nails. So those aren't screws, those are nails. We need to notice that here the word that and also that, those. For example, number 3, this and this. So we have to use the same word in each sentence. Before we do, let's look at the words. Before we do the exercise, let's look at the words. Bolts, nails, nuts, screw, screwdriver, spanner, staples, and washers. Okay, so far we used screwdriver and nails. Okay, so let's look at number 3 together. This, a chisel. This, or is this a chisel? No. So we say this isn't a chisel. This is a spanner. Very good. Now let's do number 4 again together. Washers or nuts. Washers or nuts. They are nuts. Okay, so how are we going to start here? We can look here. We found the word these, so we use it here. So what do we say? Excellent. These aren't washers. These are nuts. Excellent. Now, you can pause the video, take like 2 or 3 minutes, try to answer questions 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you can play the video again so that we can check the answers together. Now, number 5, after pausing the video, a nail, this, very good. Staple, so what should we start with? Here we have this, so we start with this. This isn't a nail, this is a staple, very good. 6, nuts, no, bolts. So what do we say? These aren't nuts. These are bolts. Very good. Number 7, a staple? No. We start with that. That isn't a staple. That's a screw. And finally, nuts? No. Those aren't nuts. Those are washers. Very good. So now we learned how to correct a mistake when describing a tool or something like that. Thank you. Please don't forget to do the homework on Teams. Please study well. See you later. Goodbye.